I think the biggest impact of the Women's Coalition, well, it was twofold. I think the one that succeeded best was actually to put a shot across the bows of the existing political parties. And actually, I think it actually helped women within those political parties to be given more prominent roles and to be given put up to stand in winnable seats. Because, it was basically saying to those parties, look, if you don't do something seriously about women and women's representation, then the Women's Coalition will continue. And so that did change, and I mean, I think that it's reflected in the fact that we've had quite a lot of women ministers. Now, obviously, some parties were more receptive than others, but certainly the change between 1996 and say 2006 or 2007 was very noticeable. What didn't work so well, but I think is probably more important and perhaps is something that still is simmering, if you like, was we were certainly trying to get women into politics and to be seen in politics. But we were also trying to change the nature of politics. So, and that's why, for example, we developed and negotiated the idea of the Civic Forum into the Good Friday Belfast Agreement. Because our feeling was, and ironically, and I suppose with recent elections, it's the chickens coming home to roost, basically. Our feeling was that politics was too narrow, professionalised, seen as elitist, or seen as, that you had to give, it was your career, basically. And that excluded people. People didn't feel part of politics. And our idea with the coalition was to sort of say, look, politics is an extension of civic activism. It's an extension of community activism. It's a tool as much as direct action is, or the time that we occupied to set up the refuge or whatever else, and should be seen as that. And policy making as part of politics needs to tap into those issues from the ground and from those sort of community organisations and women's organisations, because if it doesn't, issues will go unnoticed and unresolved. Now, the Civic Forum is still in abeyance. I mean, it was the first thing that was the established parties actually didn't re-establish whenever it's the roller coaster of the implementation of the peace agreement. And I think that's a shame because actually, when you look at very recent developments in the Republic of Ireland, where they're having citizens' assemblies and deliberative democracy, that was very much what we were trying to do in the early stages. But I always remember one long-established politician saying to me, Avila, he said, why do we need a civic forum? He said, we can meet these people at cocktail parties all the time. I said, well, that's sort of missing the point. So it was trying to do politics differently. And as I say, to that extent, wasn't as successful as perhaps the other aspect, which was more women in politics, irrespective really of what particular vehicle they used to get into politics.